Так, всем доброе утро. Уже так не выспавшийся, но больше уже не... Игра запускается сейчас. Видите, кошка рядом на моем стуле привычно. Для меня. Хотя меньше шансов, что не так быстро оглохну. И вот, все довольно. И коша рядом, да, мур-мур-мур делает. Опять загрузка данных, как... телефон. Так, наверное, да, сейчас квестиком продолжим. Хотя обычно я всегда иду ежедневки, а дальше по настроению как получится. Выбора нету. Пойдем квестик. Так сегодня мне не везет. Играли, и оба, и все. Ну, Кош, ну сиди здесь рядышком. Ну, пошла куда? Блин, хорошо.
There you are. Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt today.
Get hurt? Why would I? Don't underestimate me.
Well, you're still getting used to your new...
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt so familiar in my hands, and
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Paimon's gotten a little sick of doing it. Oh, that works.
what happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed by some cult?
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face value.
All right then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already...
Yes, your memory's being erased.
Then I'd have to disagree. That's impossible.
Oh? Why do you think that?
If we've actually been reliving the Sub-Zeru's festival day after day, then what happened to the things we used? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way...
Right. They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's resources. It's not very likely, but it's also not impossible.
No, it is impossible.
You have proof?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion. Come with me, Miss Dunyarzad. Please come along as well.
Я пока
I
включу.
can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones taking her to see Dunyarzad.
We're way behind schedule.
This is it.
Huh? This is a wooden training dummy.
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked?
That's true, but
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of the force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my... It's just as they say. Each swordsman has their own unique style, and even the same swordsman can't make the same cut twice. It would be impossible to copy these marks.
is it really impossible? What if they used some fancy machine to carve every single mark?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training. Whew, I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new brain exercise game that's been super popular with the scholars lately? It's surprisingly fun. Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to square one. Is there... But at least we've reached some other conclusions in the meantime. Yep, that's true. So, can we think of any new ideas right now? Strange? Paimon feels like everything's been strange lately. Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's really strange how we never thought of... Paimon can't believe it! Did we miss this because we're tunnel visioning too hard? How about we go back and ask Nahida? Maybe...
We're way behind schedule.
Nahida! We're back!
You're back early today. Did you find some...
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world.
Leaving the city. As far as I remember...
We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened after we
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, but you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we...
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories.
Yep. Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow. Our memories are back! About that...
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message for you. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's go.
Next on the agenda...
Why can't we leave the city? What is the academia up to now?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage.
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormode.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the academia already announced a lockdown. Let's go and question them. Hello, sir. Why can't we leave?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our... Oh, this is a good spot. And the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But... What if they... Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but... We've always been together. Okay. Paimon will wait for you.
Сейчас, одну секунду. Повесил обратно.
Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look. And please, be careful. Memories! Traveler! Paimon would never see you again! Paimon waited for you
She's here now. I don't think she understood what you were saying.
Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't...
Okay, Paimon, can you tell us your perspective? I see. Using two people's different perspectives.
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you... disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention.
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have... I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we send it back?
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well... okay.
Yep, now we're talking.
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal?
You made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked
To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the best.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status since...
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being Okay. See you tomorrow, traveler. That covers
Потик
everything.
потрясал бы прижатие к стенке. Слабо?
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you.
Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the message.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty, except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird contents.
There's another part here. We only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing, one after the other. absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
Why did the message end right there? What did the traveler want to say?
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha.
The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal.
After the beep, Traveler said even the final space has also disappeared.
Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. A lack of human presence. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic? Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a... My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing. The Paimon's head is spinning. Just what are these spaces anyhow?
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's... Hey! Where are you going?
Пойду как сюда.
We're way behind schedule.
Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad? We still have some other stuff to do first.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida.
Хотите? Ой.
You're back! I've been waiting forever for you! you too. Judging, are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate? Okay.
Okay. Nahida said, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis. We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. Those spaces remind me of dreams, like the one I had in the Avidia Forest. The moon, illusions, and lies. People in Sumeru don't. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them and those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain... Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all.
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? The Akasha relies on the power of a... It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace. And it grants knowledge to the people.
That doesn't...
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain... Is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there a...
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wit.
So in other words, the complete opposite of... Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. And the real story is that the sages from the academia are using the...
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. Those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as... Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content. My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much. We've already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival meant...
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is...
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals.
All right, last question.
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine... Now that I think about it, wasn't illusion... Now that I think about it...
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed
Я-то сначала
that.
предположил.
Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been a hint. It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You asked me this question before. My answer, now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make... Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have... That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And so whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's festival, they don't remember anything from their previous identical dream.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were...
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sub-Zero's festival Samsara, while their dreams are still...
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this? Will it ever end?
You might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, especially those whose health is compromised to begin with.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows...
I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday?
Even you don't know the reason? Wow. Now that's strange.
The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to... Traveler, do you have any information?
Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Okay, Nahida said, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to... Okay, Nahida said... Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth of that god.
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean... deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety? No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable. After we end the Sub-Zero's festival Samsara, we have to look into them.
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is ridiculous!
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon? Oh, we're out of time today!
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers remembers everything. Should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali? Hey, what's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way. Are we too late?
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other
She's actually something like a puppet, but not complete. The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her, so another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps to keep it going.
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad.
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way, so that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sabzeruz festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida.
I'm not beating myself up.
Don't be like that, Nahida.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible.
Great, but how do we do that?
Although the Sabzeruz festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only human. That means this dream belongs to a host who
Huh? So,
well, if this is someone's dream, then everything, which means, with the power of
imagination.
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine, the dream will respond in kind. And the server really. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times, find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that.
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, and even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming? After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point. As for me...
Out of town? Are you going to that place for—
Yes. I want to try something. Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end.
Paimon's still a little upset. She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. Yeah, saving Dunyarzad is what— But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would death. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the— Huh, that's true. Plus, the sages— So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Let's go ask him some questions.
Next on the agenda.
you're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Just,
An experiment? That came out.
could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a...
Less questions, more wishing!
Okay. My wish. Okay.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she just doesn't seem like herself. I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
So, you have a
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, I want What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. 50 years, 100 years, I'll serve her till the end of time.
О как.
Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but okay. I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Faki? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to...
Guess he isn't the host of this stream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunya...
My lady, step back.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunya's... Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... fine, all right. Knock yourself out. Anyway, watch yourself.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself.
A new punching bag.
Blaze over.
Animal test 6308. Enhanced animal module 75.
Your sleeve.
Absorption test. Stand clear.
On this one.
Law of the jungle.
There is no escape. Now you shall perish.
Я и забыл.
Shine down.
Born of ice and frost.
I'll be...
Кто-то поменял.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Oh, and speaking of, remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, she said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably still help. This is the place. It's rude to enter other people. Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek in. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing. Should we open it? Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of that, even though she was also busy preparing for the She must have wanted to give this to us as a... If we hadn't found this book, we never would have... But now that we know, we can't even think. Hey! Where are you off to now?
Просто устроить танец, блин. Ого.
It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she talked.
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just now, what? Where are we going this time?
А, это беготня. Так, куда нам теперь?
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like this? Traveler? You don't have to get in.
Traveler.
Traveler? What the heck are you doing? If you get arrested by the Academia, that's another day gone to waste! Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course! If this is the Sage's plan, they wouldn't put themselves through this. So they're just
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage? Like I said, they symbolize the goddess of flowers. It's just a shame that all the real Patisaras went extinct.
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Patisaras in memory of the goddess of flowers. But she ultimately could never
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Patisaras? Just like the ones from the legend?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So, how?
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are acting weird. Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host. What a surprise! Purple Patisaras don't exist in the real world anymore. But in Nilu's subconscious, they can appear as decorations on the stage. It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be food on a plate, and Nilu assumed there would be real Patisaras in the flower pots. So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the samsara, we need the host to become aware that they're... How should we make Nilu realize that?
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
So I'm right. Is this Lesser Lord Kusanali responding to our celebration of the Sub-Zeru's festival?
Wrong guess, but not completely wrong either. As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream, right?
That's it.
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage?
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City, and founded the Academia.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes,
But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's a really interesting connection.
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too.
Ну так станцию наконец.
Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the dance of Sub-Zero's.
Я боялся, что покажут какие-нибудь картинки, как здесь обычно показывают.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilou's dance.
Красиво. Кажется, по игре в самом время автором создать мультсериал.
Good morning, traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the long. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero samsara? Quick, take off your Akasha terminal. She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What usual spot?
We're way behind schedule.
Ура.
Well done, Traveler and Paimon. And thank you, Dunyarzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's festival for me.
I'm sorry, who are...
Dunyarzad! You're okay! Oh, don't scare...
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream, and I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zero's.
О, еще продолжение.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? Paimon felt like Catherine was acting weird when we met at the Sub-Zero's festival. And Dunyarzad, did you save her?
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else. How about by the Traveler's favorite bench?
Тут как...
Let's talk about Dunyarzad first. It's such a relief that she's...
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunyarzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade until they completely disappear. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible, but it's still...
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunyarzad in the end.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
At the Avidia Forest, there was this incense that made the Traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know! We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related...
It seems like the Traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died.
Ooh. Я здесь.
As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it...
King Deshret? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably...
Okay, so what does the...
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the Academia about this many times, but I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tighnari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about...
The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never... No, We must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's. To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor cat.
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their... The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
What?
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the...
That story begins a long time ago.
Usually
After
cool.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they!
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient, and I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover...
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't... Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on every once in a while. I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that, there's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line. I wonder what caused them to go down this path. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the Traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero samsara, the situation could have become dire. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. I think they're deliberately trying to hide something.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had...
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet.
Вообще-то мы ее искали для других вопросов.
You mean how the Akasha
А
stops
теперь
you from
задаем
having
совсем
dreams?
другие.
Yeah, it's
Глобальные.
been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up?
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's
Misdirection?
the sages convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can... Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it. I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge.
Где за этими вопросами искали ее?
To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero.
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything...
What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought...
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better...
We've spent quite some time in Sumeru City, but ever since we last said goodbye to Lesser Lord Kusanali, we haven't heard anything from her. Oh, we can't just keep waiting around like this. Let's go find Catherine and pick up some work so we can at least keep ourselves busy.
Ad Astra Avisask. We meet again, you two.
Hi, Catherine. Do you have any commissions for us today?
Commissions, huh? Oh, how about this? Please attend the Academia's Academic Symposium this afternoon and recite a love poem on stage.
Wait, say what now?
And if possible, please also use your camera to capture the reaction of the audience upon finishing the poem.
Huh? What kind of commission is that?
I see. It appears that you're not interested in this commission. In that case, please go to Port Ormos and convince the Eremites there to spend some time
Hey, that's not any better.
I'm sure the mercenaries will have some interesting reactions as well.
Paimon's gotta ask. Just who
Oh, the commissioner? Well, actually, I just wanted to see the two of you in action.
Was it so obvious? I was hoping you would actually take one of those commissions. That kind of chance to observe humans doesn't come by often.
Ah, so it's Nahida. Paimon just knew Catherine wouldn't crack those kinds of jokes. When did you...
From when she said, Ad Astra Abisask?
So it's been you this whole time? Are you done resting?
Yes. I've been sleeping ever since we parted ways, and I even had a really, really long dream. It was another dream about the Sabzerus festival. In my dream, I was sitting in the middle of a flower terrace, and everyone in Sumeru City was holding hands as they danced in circles around me. They danced round and round, and everyone looked really happy. I also got to sit on a gigantic flower carriage. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, raised me really, really high above the ground, and I was throwing an endless amount of Yalda candies at the children.
You know, Nahida, Maybe your dream is how the Sub-Zero's festival really should be. It's meant to be a joyous time where everyone gets together to celebrate your birthday.
Huh? Wasn't I describing a really happy dream? Why are you...
No! We aren't pitying you. That would only make everything worse. We just don't want you to feel too sad. By the way, have you had a chance to visit Dunyarzad? How's she doing? The Homianis haven't allowed any visitors after the festival, so we haven't been able to check on her.
Yes, I paid her a visit right after I woke up. She was resting at the time. Her condition is stabilized. However, since Elazar is a manifestation of the withering on the human body, we can only cure it by finding a way to take care of Irminsul's own withering. But for the moment, our top focus should still be figuring out what the sages are up to and what they're planning.
Right. Who knows what'll happen if they manage to pull off another scheme like the Samsara of the Sub-Zero's festival.
So our first priority should be investigating and putting a stop to the sages' activities. As for how we should pull that off, let's discuss it somewhere else. There are too many adventurers around here.
Oh, good point. Sorry, adventurers. We're gonna be borrowing Catherine for a little while.
Let's continue our chat here.
Okay, so do you have any ideas on how we can investigate the sages, Nahida?
Actually, I've already done a little bit of work on that. But for now... I've already tried that. But all the key members of the Academia, it seems that from the very beginning, they've been guarding against info leaks from the Akasha. Of course, it could...
Have you already caught the sage's attention?
I'm guessing not yet. But distrusting me would make perfect sense if they've ever paid it. In any case, I probably... No way, that's too risky.
You mean it'd be too easy to get...
No, it's not that. We shouldn't involve innocent students in this. Doing that would be ignoring the safety of my people for my own self.
That's a good point. Spoken like the guy.
We're in the dark as of now. Since we still don't know anything about their goals. After all, every person is...
Nahida, you're super smart, so you already have...
According to a popular theory from the Vahumana Darshan of the Academia, rejecting impractical motions at the beginning...
Okay, but aren't you the god of wisdom? You don't have...
Well, I've been thinking that if I can't directly possess the leaders, then I should find someone who's already involved, but hasn't decided to...
You're saying we should recruit a spy? That does sound like it. Oh, before coming back, we met someone named Alhaitham. He seems like he acts alone, and he likes doing...
Actually, I already have someone in mind. Do you still remember that...
Setaria. Paimon, we ran into her basically every time the Sub-Zero's festival repeated itself. Paimon still remembers the smug and mean way she always spoke to Nilou.
I've always liked observing all kinds of people, and Setaria has always stood out from the crowd. She was born in the desert, and was hailed as their greatest genius. Her academic gifts allowed her special admission into the Academia, and also gave her the opportunity to serve as the sage's assistant.
Oh, Paimon didn't know she was from the desert. She must be pretty special then. Paimon feels like most of the desert dwellers around the city are working as mercenaries.
The name Setaria means star. When she lived in the desert, she shone like the brightest star in the night sky. Later on, she was chosen by the sun. The star was given a place in the daytime sky to complement the sun's dazzling light. Soon after, the star witnessed the sun scorching the earth, which brought forth many disasters. The star began to waver. Instead of staying beside such a sun, wouldn't it be better to return and light up part of the night sky? But in the end, she couldn't give up the radiance of daytime. To cope with her shame, the star buried her guilt and closed her eyes.
From the sound of it, Sataria's just hung up on the research opportunities here. But she doesn't really support the academia. She still feels guilty about not doing more for the desert, right? She's just running away.
Indeed. When they are presented with complex moral issues, many people will simply plug their ears and go with the flow until the problem can't be fixed anymore. She's suppressing a lot of guilt, but before she realized it, she had already become the sage's accomplice. She can't deny. Right. We must somehow make her face her problems again. That way, not only can we get useful intel from her, but she can opt from my past observations. Zetaria will take a day off from the academy. Tomorrow afternoon just happens to be a shopping day for her. To prepare, let's go check out some of her favorite spots, and to have a quick...
Ну чё ты?
Are you going to hold a festival? Fire hazard!
Не хочешь говорить, ну ладно.
А, говорю, микрофон выключен, ха-ха, как обычно. Я норм, а ты?
Я тоже норм.
Так, эти приключения на время не очень нравятся. И приноровился их выполнять. Так. Посмотрим.
Оценишь мою рейдинг.
Ой, это тебе лучше к кому-то, кто профессионально в эту игру играет. Моя Райден еще далеко совсем не в норме. Мало дамага выдает. Еще регионов-то у меня не открыто. Только он сумеру начинает изучать.
Ну-ка покажи свою рейдинг.
Сейчас. Ой, вот таким копьем. Такими вот артами.
Улов докачать.
Да, надо ловить это все время. И надо дальше фармить.
Кубок надо.
Надо, но это пока что лучше, что удалось.
Часы на восстанову.
Еще фармить и фармить.
Шапку на крит шанс.
Next on the agenda.
Так что там вряд ли тебе что-то с райда наценил-то. Хоть в правильном направлении двигаюсь. Это не хочу.
No touching.
Это, конечно, необходимость заряженных атак немножко раздражает. Долго. Еще, ага.
Access denied.
Запрятался. Я не говорил, но я думал, что кто-то здесь как будто еще есть, стреляет, хотя я не видел откуда и кто. Это уже было два. Раз. И уже три было. Да, это уже три было.
It
is something
А
of
вот
a
туда мне не
luxury,
очень
but I
нравится
love
добираться.
listening to the rain from the courtyard.
Еще в воде молнии.
Next on the agenda. This is long overdue.
Animal test 6308. Swirl, Mark 2. Stand clear.
The fuse is lit. We're way behind
Good.
schedule. Born of ice and frost.
Here come the fireworks. Enhanced animal module 75. Animal test
И
6308.
поджарим. Это лучше. И сколько у нас уже начнут в суммера задания появляться? О, так руки скоро дотянул. Раз я до 50-го дотянул, да? А, еще не выросло. Так, тут застряли-то. Я так вчера посадил.
This realm is truly beginning to...
Готовить декор. Это что там какое-то задание у нас какой-то
If you ever have any
декор,
questions...
который я не разглядел. Подлейшимся. Смотрел про смену обителя.
Astra. Thank you for completing today's commit. Add Astra.
Почему-то каждый раз вот он в каком-то случайном регионе оказывается типа активно. Чтобы сверху, например, идти удобно было бы вниз. А не вот это вот все. Туда-сюда скакать. Почему ли ее и открылся первым? По-моему, и Надзума первая открылась. Или это связано с квестами? В какой зоне были ежедневки, в той как бы и открывается. Лет или связано это. Наблюдать, кстати. Я не знаю, в принципе. Жули я получил. Портальи у меня есть. Да, тут всегда тоже прокачивать. Мне экономить крутки. На следующий баннер. И попробовать тут еще покрутить. Ну как, надо накрутить определенное количество круток, чтобы кого-то выбить. Из звездочного опять. Я думал, что Джунли уже не выбью. Ну да, сейчас куплю из этих 4-звездочных. Да. Идите в жопу с мечами. Лучше персонажа бы. Хотел бы оружие, крутил бы оружие. Бесит такое. Конечно, тарталью. Лучше цицы. Ну, без этого купишь. О, было столько где-то у меня ранг, теперь уже подполз. Так. Сюжета, я, наверное, уже на сегодня хватит. Идем сегодня к дракону в гости. На этой неделе еще не было, неделя уже и кончается. Хотелось бы все же эту заготовочку его выбить. Цып-цып-цып. Так, хера себя. Ушпиля. Мне кажется, с этой стороны я дамажу его меньше, чем с той. А с той дамага я выдаю обычно больше, получается. Да, давай. Я понимаю, с платформой. Как можно? Бесконечно или конечно? Как можно, вот, допустим, отсюда перелететь на другое без повреждений? Причем бывает, что вот эта платформа тоже бывает такой же. Обгаженный. Конечно. Картофель наладили. А вот с этой, посмотрите, насколько больше будет. Кажется, что да. Опа, вот сейчас. Это стоит четвертинку только, а здесь. Да ё-моё, что за... Отлично. Кажется, за этот раз я сейчас его не уложу еще. Так, давай. Обгать. Я помню, как моя первая встреча с ним, это было вообще что-то. Вот, и видите, следующая тоже такая же. Не может быть так, что во время боя все вот нормальная платформа кончится. О, я тут. Слышь. Отлично. Спасибо, игра. Я с удобной стороны для меня, которая мне нравится больше. Вот ни о чем сейчас урон был. Сейчас получше. Ура. Ну. Верно. Дают заготовки, блин. Что надо сделать, чтобы получить лук? Идти в магазин разве что. Не сюда я хотел смотреть. Рыбалка, рыбалка. Я да, вчера рыбачил, кажется. Надо разбираться. Улучшение копья.
I've been waiting for you for ages. Time for a light show. Fuse is lit. Fire hazard. Go the ship down. Fuse is lit. Time for a light show. Fire hazard.
Ай, блин, микрофон опять был выключен. Я говорил. Ну, сейчас мы электро уже не поменяем. Потому что помимо Нахида еще что-то было. Вспомнил. А с электро было бы быстрее. Не так важно. Это, скорее всего, может быть уже в алхимии сделать, хотя бы не факт. Цветы и пресники, ой, само такое остается. Три раза повышать. Да, буду сейчас заканчивать. Тут дальше я не знаю. Или в Starfield поиграть, или в Майнкрафтик.
I want to help.
Сначала, в любом случае, сначала позавтракать. И блин, надо...
Stand clear. Animal test 6308. Yeah.
Все будет, все пригодится. Ну, я так и не посмотрел, что нам надо-то. Узнаю я себя. Сок изумруда на гадус. 2 куска изумруда на гадус. И останется нам только остается плесень. Так, там посмотрим. Хоть. Нам в отряд Нахиду как раз, да?
Time to broaden our horizons again.
Куча цветов и куча вот.
If you lie on the grass, you can feel the heartbeat of the world.
Давайте чуть плесенника попробуем пособирать. Буквально 1-2. Даже 1. Что ли? Где тут?
No touching. Time for a light show. Here come the fireworks. Ready, steady, go! Let the show begin. Temple of Wisdom. Fire hazard. This may hurt a little. Grow, grow, grow. Committed to memory. I'll protect us.
Конечно, удобно с Нахидой так собирать. Честь пыльца. Как будто, да, и вправду не так, и черт, уже и надо было собирать. Да, выглядит, что лучше дополнительные предметы создать. Ну, 8. Выглядит, что у нас все будет, кроме цветов. Да, величко. Нет, давайте все тогда на сегодня. Ну, мы привычную сахарозу.
I can do it.
Кстати, полюбовь мультиплеером, который ко мне вновь вернулся. А, да, точно, кому-то более мелкого уровня я могу пройти, а это более высокого уже сложнее. Ну, раньше был, когда был мелкий. Ее надо уже убрать. Нет пока смысла. Ну, все так. Это, да. Завтра, по-моему, даже крутить не смогу. Вот 98. Ежедневка как бы. Но профита не будет. Да, сейчас как-нибудь включен. Спасибо и до встречи. Я не знаю, что или Майнкрафт после обеда и завтрака играть, или Старфилд. А, да, вспомнил. Borderlands. Ну все, всем пока. Ну, я еще не знаю, что